completely honest, there is not much with Black Ops 4 to discuss right now, information-wise or updated current events like we normally discuss, but in that absence, it's gotten me thinking more and more about what's next. And there has been some stuff recently that came up, but honestly, I didn't really give that much thought to it at the time, but wanted to fill you on it the more I discussed it with myself and give you guys some of the information at hand, because thinking about it more, maybe it does hold some weight after all. That said, today we're going to be discussing some possible MW4 news, or I guess better classified as COD 2019 information, because curiously enough, we're now past when most reveals have actually happened and we haven't had really the slightest of any official information on our hands just yet. It's of course easy to say, well, it's Modern Warfare 4 for a multitude of reasons. Firstly, because, well, Modern Warfare 4 as opposed to a brand new IP would outsell it just by simply the name alone. Some other things where the instances of, say, Craig Fairbrass last year had his Twitter bio encompassing Modern Warfare 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then things where prominent gaming journals and websites have reported the fourth game in development, all that kind of stuff. But as for recently, we saw a couple of things, a few dates in particular that are really interesting. Turns out GameStop's databasing and POS system actually ended up showcasing things for some Call of Duty reveal shirts in their inventory with the dates of estimated arrival of June 4th. That was the first one that was found, and then a secondary picture was updated a day later, which mentioned May 28th. Now, what's interesting is that it's curious because this is actually how Black Ops 4 was initially spoiled, but then a day or two later, it was officially revealed by the official Call of Duty accounts and all the socials there. So we haven't seen that pattern followed exactly to how we saw it before, but it's of course interesting to consider maybe the more legitimate timetables here with this. So the big questions outside of this are, well, do those dates actually work? Truthfully, they actually could. Now, their ETAs, or estimated time of arrivals, for when those items will be in the warehouses and available, which is primarily around when content will be distributed. So if they're put on the shelves in conjunction with that reveal, the 28th to the 4th, of course, is a big chunk of time that you can end up seeing that maybe it's at that tail end, maybe it's right then. But to me, right out of the gate, the 28th doesn't really seem to have all that many glaring issues here with it. June 4th, though, I'm a little curious on, because I don't see them really revealing it on this date. I mentioned this first over on Twitter. If you guys don't follow me over there, feel free to. I like to keep up to date with you guys as much as possible, and it's really easy to reach out to me at that point. But regardless, I ended up mentioning this over on Twitter, to which I didn't really give it much thought, and that's why it's kind of a few days late now talking about it here on the channel. But whenever we take a look at this, June 4th has two different reasons where it just wouldn't make sense for a reveal to happen. Firstly, well, it's the days of summer. That's when that starts in Black Ops 4. And the second reason is that E3 is at that point just a week later than that. So as for the first point, I really don't see Activision conflicting two marketable items, one being a future reveal and one being a current playable release, whenever there is definitely more potential to either reveal it earlier or later, wherever it may be, but it's not like them to cross anything like that to begin with. But when one is one that actually pulls some profit and revenue, and then one potentially could break the internet from excitement or immediate fan interest in just hearing that Modern Warfare series again, I don't see the marketing teams and anybody in a position of power at Activision saying, yeah, let's do both of those today. And with E3 being just a week later at that point, potentially 8 days depending on what day it gets shown off, because E3 is from the 11th to the 13th, so it could fall a little bit after that 1 week period, but you get the picture. It's just way too close again, I think, to market anything that if there were to be a reveal of something newer, then it wouldn't make sense to have it 1 week back to back like that based on their current marketing strategies. So if you're keeping your eyes open for anything, I don't want to say that I don't consider this week entirely, but I also don't really expect anything because we're still in that 1 week out mark from the last marketed item, that being Spectre Rising for Xbox One and PC. There's usually about a week cooldown here for that, and then after that, maybe an off week, so then it adds up to 2 weeks, which is of course that marketing window we've mentioned many a times here. But truthfully, I kind of thought it would be something around Tuesday the 21st based on that logic. Again, that 2 week window after Xbox One and PC, get the new content for Black Ops 4, and then at that point, 2 weeks until PlayStation 4 gets Days of Summer. So it would have just fit right in that little small open window on the calendar of events and how marketing usually works for Activision. But while that first guess might be wrong, that'd be the first time in which I start to see maybe something start to promo, a little teaser here and there, maybe a leak or two. But honestly, when we take a look at it, if we see something from a more official confirmation standpoint of an actual POS system and inventory system of a global company handling many things in merchandise, that wouldn't surprise me though know if that 28th is actually a date for contention. Though that's not the only date that was thrown around here at this, because outside of just this little inventory system from GameStop, we saw that Robert Bowling himself, the former creative strategist for Infinity Ward during the time of Modern Warfare 2, he was the big guy, the David Vonderhaar or so, if you will, that connected with the community on that almost one-on-one iconic basis that when you thought of the brand, you thought of him. He was actually tweeting some stuff late the other night, in which he had a couple of different tweets that were all completely out there and kind of crazy, but I don't really want to focus too much on that. It was kind of just hyping up Modern Warfare 4, but the one that really caught my attention was one that mentioned, "I will let you down, I will make you hurt," with the Operation Kingfish photograph that was made for Modern Warfare 2, prominently displayed and then zooming in slowly on Ghost with the iconic Johnny Cash hurt in the background. Now, that's the theory that 10/8/19 is that release date, but personally, I don't think so. I don't think we're going to get an October release this time, and also when you consider that that date is actually a Tuesday, whereas all the recent COD launches of the past couple of years have been on a Friday to try and maximize those sales, and of course, the player numbers the first weekend, and so on and so forth. To me, I don't think they'd be going back to a Tuesday model like they did back in, say, the Modern Warfare 2 days, whenever that launched on a Tuesday. Another theory that I heard was possibly it's a Modern Warfare 2 remastered date, which is a really interesting theory because we still have that idea and notion that Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3 Remastered are campaign only and are out there somewhere, but we haven't heard anything really, again, from an official standpoint. But that would be 30 days exactly before the launch of what could also be a viable date of November 8th, which is a Friday. So in that regard, maybe that is the first release date of Modern Warfare 2 Remastered, the campaign there, either on PlayStation 4 as an exclusive there, going back to that, which hopefully not, or just in general. But outside of that, to my knowledge, he's not affiliated with Activision or Infinity Ward at all, and I'm pretty sure he's actually working with EA as a creative consultant, so he doesn't have any official ties to this project as far as I'm aware, but it's also possible maybe one of two things. One, maybe he does have inside information, he's just too excited to hold it in, or maybe two, he's just a hyped up fan, like maybe all of us here. Maybe he's just expecting MW4 to be coming here with this and getting a little excited and ahead of himself here with this potentially. I mean, like I said, we have absolutely nothing official that points to it, and of course, while it is, you know, that maybe worst kept secret where you're like, yeah, it only makes sense to do it, maybe it's like that, but there is a curveball ahead of us. Who knows? But for once, I'm actually entirely not sure how to take these tweets. I don't want to say it was a full-on leak because the guy, as far as we know, somebody of that stature would definitely be shown off in the gaming media. His presence at Activision or at Infinity Ward would definitely be known. And, well, he's currently, again, a creative consultant for EA, who's direct competition here to the Call of Duty franchise. But I also don't want to brush it off just simply because, well, the guy might have some information. We don't exactly know, but of course, it's definitely going to be curious here because the next upcoming days to weeks may not be filled with the most immediate updates in the way of, say, things like Black Ops 4. I'm not expecting much. I know that we have Ambush coming at the end of the month at some point here with this, but honestly, until Days of Summer, I don't really know all that much that's going to happen. So it might be a slow and dry couple of next days to maybe a couple of weeks or so at this point, but looming on the horizon is that next title reveal with probably a lot of stuff to come out of that. So we're definitely nearing that event horizon here in which very soon we won't be able to escape the inevitable COD 2019 or MW4 information and sub boxes filled with all kinds of videos breaking everything down. But until then, we're certainly left with the biggest mystery of, well, where is anything? Again, as we started this video, we'll close it out with, it is insane how tight-lipped everything has been, and outside of a few hiccups here and there that, again, have been absolutely not confirmed in any way, shape, or form, I'm honestly blown away that now, May 11th, we haven't seen anything in relation to the next upcoming title. So massive kudos to Infinity Ward for keeping everything under wraps. Massive kudos to Activision in that same regard as well. And also, give us the information, man. I'm getting restless, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are as well. But seemingly, again, coming up in the next couple of days, the 28th and the 4th of those dates that GameStop may have leaked, and maybe even a date of a remaster or potentially even a full-on launch. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully, enjoyed the information. And honestly, I would love to get your feedback and thoughts on all of this. So let me know what you guys think of potentially MW4 and when you think it may be happening. And of course, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like down below. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. I want to stay up to date with all things Call of Duty 2019. Of course, Black Ops 4 still, but we'll be ramping up for 2019 or potentially MW4 here as that stuff all happens. So if you're interested in any of that, hit that subscribe button so don't miss a single thing. And if you guys also want to follow me over on Twitter and Instagram, those are the best places to get connected outside of YouTube. Practically live on both those. So if you guys want to strike up a conversation, ask me a question, whatever it may be, that link is down there in the description below. Well, let's send it out of the way. Thank you guys also much for watching. Mine is Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.